Hey everyone, in this session we will understand the concept encapsulation. Okay, first I will do something practically, then I will explain what the encapsulation is all about. Now first understand there are two types of variables. Number one is public, number two is private. Here I have created a class. The name of the class is car. Inside the class there is a constructor taking two arguments, model. Here, self is the reference to the object and I have created the object my car. Okay. Now suppose if I want to access any attributes like mileage, so I can write my car dot mileage and suppose I want to print this. There is already a default value, so it will be printed as 0. 0 is the default value. Now suppose I want to update the value, I can do that. We have seen in our last class 10,000, make it 10,000 and then print it. So 10,000 will be printed. So this is a public variable. Anybody can access the public variable. Now the thing is that suppose the programmer who is creating the class does not want the user to see all the variables. Instead, he want to keep some variables private. Now how can we do it? By giving an underscore to the variables. Here I have given a underscore in front of mileage. Now mileage is a private variable. Okay, now if I want to access my car dot mileage, now let me run this one. See what is the output? Car object has no attribute mileage. There is an attribute mileage, but it is shown to the user that car does not have because the developer has made it private by giving the underscore. So if you provide nothing, this becomes a public. If you provide underscore, this becomes a private. Okay, so user can see what is inside the class. Now if he knows that there is a private variable named mileage, he can access this by my car dot underscore mileage equals to 23,000. Okay, now let me show this one. Now suppose I want to print this. It will showing me as an error because I have written mileage. I have to access it by giving the underscore because it is a private variable. See. So you cannot access any private variable directly, but you can use by giving the underscore in front of the variable. Clear? Now the question is, what is the benefit of making it private? Just because this is a way of saying that this variable is private because I don't want you to change this variable. I want to keep it private. That's why I have kept it private. So you should not change it. But if you think you need to change, then you can change it. Simple is that. So it is not recommended that you change. But if you think that it's a must, you don't have other choice, then you can change it. Okay, this is like a warning. This is like a caution. If you want, you can do, but it is recommended, it is advised that you should not do that. Simple. This is the logic of Python. Okay. Now Python says that don't change it directly, but change it using any method that will make it more secured so that nobody just can come and write one line of code and change it. If that person wants to change, it should be changed using a method. That's what I will show you right now. Now here I have created a class named car and I have made all the attributes as private. Now if an object is created, car passing the arguments, and now if I want to print what is the make, what is the model, what is the year, what is the mileage, we have to access it using a method. So get make method will be called, see here this method will be called, which will return the make, which will return the model, which will return the year, which will return the mileage. So what is happening here? We are not directly accessing the attributes because these are private attributes. So I can't see what are the private attributes are over there. So I will call the function which will set the values and return us. That's what will be printed here. Clear? So what does the oops does here? It is encapsulating the attributes, the methods, and making it a secured thing. It's like a capsule. It is a secured way of keeping the medicine, encapsulating the thing. That's why this term is known as encapsulation. Oops, also encapsulates by keeping the attributes, the public attributes, the private variables, and the objects together inside a capsule. Okay, so that anybody from outside cannot just access it directly or change it or harm it. It can just access it using any method. That is what is known as getter method. Now suppose if I want to change something, we also cannot change it directly. For that also we have to use a method. That's what is known as setter method. See here, I have updated the mileage. Here I have created a function add mileage which will take an argument. So now if you want to update the miles, you just cannot add it directly. Instead, you have to pass this to this add mileage function. See here, I have passed 100. So once you pass it, this one will be called 100 will be passed. Now if checks miles greater than 0, that is a condition that if it is greater than 0, then add it. See here what happens. The private attribute mileage is getting updated. So you understand the difference? I'm not just directly accessing it. I'm not directly printing. I'm not directly updating or I'm not directly retrieving the value. Instead, I am setting it through a method. I am getting it through a method. Okay. So that is what is known as getter methods and setter methods in OOPS. You have to set it first using a method. You have to update it using a method. You have to get it using a method. Okay. So this is what is encapsulation all about, which is the properties of object-oriented programming. Bye. Happy learning.